My name is Steve Beeston, and I'm the inventor of the dual force hydropower system, of which you see a prototype behind me here. We're going to give a demonstration of this system and start by going over the components of the system. So come on in. And this is a tank we'll be using to represent the upper water body. Inside of it is our first turbine, which drives this generator. It operates by the force of gravity, of course, driving the turbine and turning the generator. So this is one power producing point. The water exits through the plumbing we have down here and passes through a Y gate or Y valve here. The Y valve feeds first one tank and then the other. And the system is set up with these rope and pulleys so that the Y valve on the other end is opposite of this one. So when one chamber is filling, the other is draining, and then we can switch it, fill the one that's drained, and drain the one that's full. The chambers are located here, number 1 and number 2. They have inside of them floats, or what we call buoyant objects, and they drive this shaft. This is operated by a chain drive in this prototype. There's 2 drives on each buoyant object, one for the up and one for the down. They're contained in this superstructure so that the buoyant objects can float up and down freely while driving these gears. The gears each have recoil systems, recoil springs, so that they can reset after the completion of a cycle. The shaft drives these generators, one on each end. There's one down the far end and one down here, and these are 2 other generating points. As we move on downstream, you can see the other Y valve here is in the opposite position from this one here on the upstream side. That feeds the water into the lower water tank, the exit system, which has our second turbine in it. As the water comes into the tank, it's fed, it drives this turbine, which drives this generator. So we have a 4th generating point. Because we don't have a stream in our shed here to actually drain the water out, we recycle the water by pumps, which are driven by a battery. So we are able to actually reuse the water that we're operating the system with. Now we're going to go ahead and load this up with water and show you how it actually operates. We have the system full with water now, and the system is basically off. And there's been some concern about how you might start a system like this. What we have is we have our upper water level to a depth of 5 inches. We have one chamber full, one empty. Our pumps are on. The lower water tank is empty. All we have to do to start this system now then is switch the valve. Once we switch the valve, everything will start to flow. We'll start generating power. Go ahead and give it a switch. Okay, now our shaft is turning, our turbines are turning, and we're generating power. We'll take our meter here and get some readings on the meter. getting power from this generator. Now we'll this one. Now you can see as the generator turns, we get power. Okay. And you can watch as our gears are turning and the recoil systems reset them. Focus on this for a little bit. This one holds up, turning the gear in this rotation, direction of rotation. One on the other side pulls down when it drops, pulling in the same direction of rotation. When one is going up, it's pulling. When the other is going down, simultaneously now, it's pulling down on it, but in the same direction. So we have power in both directions. We have downstroke, the weight of the buoyant object pulls down on it, and on the upstroke, buoyancy lifts up on it, or pulls up on it through the arm. And you can see our distance here is just 5 inches. That's the height of the water in the upper water body. We've got plexiglass in this system so we can see what it is, and we put a little red food coloring in there to watch our water flow. You can see how fast that water drains when we shift the valves. Now, in a few seconds we'll shift back and you'll see how fast it floods. It floods rapidly in order to generate that buoyant force. This is our lower turbine. Alright, so you can see we get power in all locations. Of course, the tabletop situation like we have here is not the most efficient. And as you can see, a lot of our stuff is imaginatively developed. And it gets the job done.